Alright, so we're going to do a little bit more of the John Deere history stuff. So what I got is I have out my 1963 John Deere 110 brochure. Now, some of you watching may know, some of you watching may not know. About mid-1963, I think it was April or June, something like that, John Deere introduced the 110 garden tractor. At the time, had a 7 horsepower Kohler 161 engine, and you can see it here on the cover. Now, this brochure right here is dated 11 of 63. Now, there is a June of 63 that I do not own, but this is probably one of the most common 63 brochures, and I figured we'd just flip through it, just go on a little trip, and then probably what I'll do over the next couple episodes of this, or couple of videos of this, is I'll pull out progressively, so I'll do the 64, 65, 66, and 67. And then what I'll do is I'll pull out some marketing information at the same time as I go through all these brochures, and we can compare what's different, etc., as attachments came online. So, 1963, introduction of the John Deere lawn and garden tractor with exclusive independent ground speed. So this is where they introduced the variable speed. And you have this really cool picture right here. Now, what's really interesting is they actually recreated this picture later with a 140, which I'll bring out eventually. Most of the 1963s were released east of the Mississippi River, so there's not very many west of the Mississippi River. A lot of them were in Maryland. I think that's some of the first ones that were released. I don't own a 63. I'm not really a big 63 collector. I like the history more than the actual tractors. I find the 63s to be a little too expensive for my taste, mostly just because I like to use my machines, and if I owned a 63, I just wouldn't want to use it. But anyway, this is a letter that actually came with this book that was dated February 10th, 1964, written to Raymond Clark of Route 1 in Waukee, Iowa. I can't remember exactly where I found this book, but this was a letter that came with the book, and basically, thank you for the recent inquiry for the John Deere equipment. And this book being dated 11 of 63, it makes sense that the letter is dated February of 64. And basically, they sent in this brochure and directed him to Wall Implement Company in Dallas Center, Iowa. And that just stays with this book here. So some of the features: independent ground control. This was basically the variable speed, a single pedal control. So you had your speed control, your clutch, and then your braking. If anybody's operated a 110 before, you know that you can push part of the way down on the brake pedal, and it will just disengage the clutch or disengage the engine from the transaxle, and then you can push a little farther and you'll brake. You'll apply braking to the machine. Now, probably one of the coolest thing is the safety start, so the use of the key start. Now, these were the original keys. They're the two-pronged keys compared to the 1964 and later keys. And it must be in neutral to start. So it says here, for the inexperienced teenage operator, here's an exclusive safety feature to the 110. And it must be in neutral to be started. The rotary mower is attached to it, must be disengaged before the engine can be started. So this is that on the PTO engagement on the right side of the machine. There's that little lever. Most of them have the safety switches have been removed, and same thing with the transaxle neutral safety switch. Most of these have been removed and jumpered, but this was actually a safety feature that John Deere marketed. Turn short, I'll kind of disagree with that, but it does. That was the marketing claim at the time, was it turns short. Rides easy, and hugs hills. This is basically where they're saying you could turn the wheels out, and you could go from 27 inches to 33 inches in the wide position for width of the wheel, the rear axles. Fun mowing. Now what's really interesting about this brochure right here is this brochure, the pictures of the deck actually show the new 1964 deck as compared to the 63 deck. The 63 deck was a welded frame, and the 64 is this curved shape right here. Same thing right here, and you can see the 64 and later deck with the curved edges and everything. See if I can find a picture. See, even in this one, this is a curved deck. But anyway, easy on, easy off for the decks. I'll keep looking for a picture of the fabricated deck. But basically saying the decks were easy on, easy off. They were a lot harder than they are nowadays. Granted, these were only little 38-inch decks, but still, easy on, easy off was a marketing point. And then you had the snowblower here, and what I want you to notice is the snowblower is all green, and it appears in the picture. So they induced a 36-inch wide snowblower, and then here's the dozer blade. So at this time, the dozer blade would have been a 6-way blade. And in fact, it says blade angles 15 to 30 degrees left to right, also tilts 7.5 degrees or 15 degrees to the left and right, and a parallel linkage holds the blade level throughout its working range of 2 inches below to 8 inches above ground level. So starting at serial number 5000 for the blades, that's when they did away with the 6-way blades and went to just the 4-way blades. And then accurate spraying, so they have the 5 sprayer in this picture, not the 5A, so this is the 5 sprayer, and then they have the Model 7 sprayer here that came out with the 110s. Also, we have the allied attachments. As a lot of folks know, allied attachments are very important. We have the Brindley plows, we have the Brindley planters, we have the various cabs that came on the tractors with, the cabs are kind of cute. At least my wife says they're cute. Same thing here. You have the garden cart, you have the toolbar, the different plows, the harrow, and this is kind of cool. You have your little Snowco Model 900 utility trailer being pulled by a station wagon, which is pretty sweet. You have your vacuum, your yard vacuum. Or that was the Brindley dump bed. The yard vacuum came out a little bit later. But nice short brochure in 1963. Convenient financing. I'm sure John Deere Parts would be more than happy to find, or John Deere credit plan. They would finance your purchase. Specifications in 1963. So this is even though this is a 63 brochure, they were basically announcing the 1964 110. So it had the Kohler K181 for 8 horsepower instead of the 7 horsepower K161. So all of the spats are listed here. Transaxle 1 U.S. Court, first, second, and third. So in 1965 they added the 4th speed V-belt, and then all-purpose or traction tread tires or high flotation tires, along with all of the turning radiuses, stuff like that. And I think I've already shown the 1163 there. So I'm going to end this video right here. Hopefully that helps.